What's up, guys? Brett here, and I'm making what is probably the first ever vlog I've made in my life. But this is going to be a video for me to show you guys my new office, the computer that I've been building, and to introduce you guys to me and my face. If you've never seen me before, hi. It's nice to meet you. And I'm standing here in what is both my office and my bedroom. So without showing maybe too much of my bedroom, I'm going to show you guys the office space that I've built for the purpose of streaming and recording videos so I can finally get out of my living room and have a bit of privacy whenever I record. So let's get into it. I'm standing here in front of my bookcase. It's got a bunch of mementos and some of my favorite books that I've read over the years. But to show you guys the main section of my room here, okay, so this is the corner of my room where I'm going to be spending a lot of time, hopefully whenever I get to start streaming. So I'm going to take a minute. We can look at kind of my nerd shelves. It took me a lot of time and a lot of effort to put these shelves together. I painted my room recently. Um, yeah, a lot of changes went on. And I know I've been talking about streaming and things for a long time, but it took a lot of effort for me to pull this all together. It also took a lot of money. I'm not a rich man. If I was, probably could have just paid someone to do it for me. But as it is, I had to do all the work myself. And being a full-time dad, it took a while. It took a lot of effort as well. So I hope you guys appreciate it. I hope it's kind of a worthy office space, a worthy streaming space for us to start doing that together. So first things first, let me just go over the office and how it's organized and what everything is, where it is, and we can kind of look at some of the trinkets and things I have on the shelves and talk about them for a minute. Um, I'm really hoping I don't suck at making vlogs because I feel really awkward right now recording myself. So first things first, probably one of the things that was the biggest pain in the butt was this rail system that I put on the ceiling. It wasn't that hard for me to put on. I'm a little bit of a handyman. I'm not that bad at things like that. But to find curtains, green screens, the right length, these are actually like shower curtains that I found online that are supposedly great as a dual green screen. And I also put those tracks up on the ceiling. I had to cut and fit them. It was a little bit difficult, but it's kind of one of those things you put in like a hospital or in like an apartment that you share with someone else and you want to kind of privatize your space. So a lot of repurposing went on in this office. The shelves are actually really cool. They're like heavy metal shelves. They were a bit of a pain in the butt to hang because they're like 20 pounds a piece. I got these at Target, but they're great for holding all of these really big paperback and hardcover books. A lot of these are my favorite fantasy series over the years. I'm missing a lot of books from when I was a kid. I think my mother actually put a bunch of stuff in storage and lost a ton of stuff, unfortunately. So now I'm kind of going back to used bookstores to try and reclaim some of those series that I used to have. But I've got, G.R.R. Martin's up here, Robert Jordan. I've got some Steven Erikson over here. If you like the Malazan series, Book of the Fallen, I've got one of my favorite authors, R. Scott Baker, and some Glenn Cook, Stephen King. I mean, I'm missing so much, guys. It's unbelievable. But I've got a whole nother bookshelf behind me full of stuff. But I just wanted to get the fantasy stuff up there. Raymond Feist, for those of you who are interested in that sort of thing. Um, I've got my old Game Boy Colors. I've got some old like Batman cars I used to have, some Funko Pop, I think those what those are called, some Ragnar Lothbrok and Bob Ross. I got some Magic cards, some Hey Arnold stuff up there. I don't know if it's kind of hard to see. Some original art that I picked up from a retiring Marvel comic writer, and yeah, it's pretty sweet. That's Cowboy Bebop. That's one of my favorite animes. I have a pretty short list of favorite animes, but that's definitely on there. Cowboy Bebop is pretty sweet. What else do I have that you guys might find interesting? So a lot of Bob's Burgers stuff. My Superman mug I got for Father's Day. I love that. I love it so much I don't even want to use it because I'm scared it's gonna like get messed up. Gravity Falls, DuckTales, classic DuckTales DVD set. Samurai Jack, one of my favorite shows of all time. I got the board game too with the little models. We can kind of check those out. We can get a little closer, a little zoom in action. There we go. That's cool. Magic the Gathering stuff. I've got underneath my desk here, it's kind of hard to see, but I've got like a box down here that's just full. You see that red crate with the weight on it? That's just full of like Magic the Gathering cards. Unfortunately, I don't get to play much anymore. Not paper anyway, but I just kind of watch other people play and try not to spend my money. I've got a bunch of cool original art from local artists that my wife has had framed for me, and I think it's pretty sweet. My letter opener here is Sting. Sure you can see that with Ghost behind him from Game of Thrones. And yeah, so that's just a bunch of cool knickknacks that I have. There's tons of other stuff on there that I could go over. Maybe over time I'll show you guys that stuff if you're interested. I've got some OG like Game Boy Color cartridges and a bunch of other really cool things. But so yeah, that's kind of my office setup. The desk here is something I had to have made and like shipped to me. It was pretty expensive. It's kind of hard to see the details with, you know, all the stuff sitting on top of it. But it's like reclaimed wood with, you know, like steel. And I had it like not painted on purpose, so it would look pretty kind of industrial. It would look cool. And it's a kind of a unique shape. I had to have it actually fit this corner to make sure that it didn't take up a huge amount of space in my bedroom. So I also was able to get this chair. Pretty cool, like vintage chairs from the 70s. I found it at an antique store that was going out of business, and I got it for like nothing. This is probably a really expensive chair that I think I got a good deal on. So, but yeah, I think that's all that I need to say about any of that stuff. For the actual pieces of the computer that I'm putting together, which is probably half the reason you guys are here to see what type of computer that I'm building. Man, where do I even start? So some things I had before, right? This floor mat down here, which is not really a piece of a computer, but it's just part of my office. That was a gift from my buddy ProLane. I wanted to give him a shout out. He's a Twitch streamer as well, and he's a good friend of mine. And he's the main person who helped me pick out the different components for this computer build. And without him, I would have had a lot of trouble. So that was just a little intro into me shouting him out. So ProLane, if you're interested in watching him on Twitch. I also got a lot of gifts from other friends as well who were Twitch streamers. And one of those things, the first thing I guess I'll show you guys is the kind of cool, it's the mic that I want to start using. I haven't got a chance to test it out yet. It's a Blue Brand Snowball Ice mic. Supposedly it's pretty good. And the buddy of mine who gave that to me has been a friend of mine since childhood. And I am really eager to make use of that for the first time. And I also have, as far as my webcam, it's a kind of a cheaper Logitech. But it's something I picked up at Target. It's not the cheapest you can get, but it should do pretty good service for us whenever we actually start streaming. Nothing is hooked up yet, and it's not going to be hooked up until I get the actual computer itself situated. I've also got this kind of backup monitor that I've had for a while, this Acer in the corner, just as something cheap that I can read chat on whenever we start streaming. And my headset here that I bought a long time ago to make videos, it's JBL. It just picks up so much interference that I find that I can't use it as well as I can just a standard like Apple headset. So I'm pretty frustrated by that, but maybe it'll work better with the new build. Who knows? I can't wait to plug it in and find out. So, all right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the computer itself. So first, let's go over the case, I guess. It's a Crystal Series Corsair brand case, and it's kind of beautiful, guys. It's huge. It's a mid-size, and it's got the fans in the front, and it's got the glass on the side. So once this thing is, you know, filled up with all of the RGB components, this thing is going to be lit up. I don't know yet whether or not I want to keep it on my desk as a bit of a display piece. That'll probably throw a ton of light onto my casting and stuff, and it might get annoying and loud at some point, but I may want to put it on the floor. The only thing I'm really worried about with this build is overheating. I live in Texas. It's like 100 degrees outside right now, and I'm worried, even with all of the quality components that I have and all of the cooling that I have, I'm still worried that it's going to be rough, that the heat is going to be a really terrible factor. So I also want to say, before I get too deep into this, that I got everything on sale. These components are all very expensive, pretty high-end stuff. I got a good deal. So I bought everything on an Amazon Prime deal day, and that saved me ultimately, I think, about $600. So if you're looking at everything I bought after I record this and you're adding it all up and you're getting some huge price, know that I saved about $600 off of that, and that even then this build was very expensive. So it's definitely not for everyone. and it's definitely an investment on my part, not just for my channel, but for not having to buy another computer, hopefully for the next several years. So the next thing is going to be the fans that I bought. They're Cooler Master brand. It's going to be the 360 RGB is what I picked up. And it comes in pieces. I still have to assemble it, but you get 3 of these 120 millimeter fans, and you have to assemble them inside their housing. And it should be a really kind of a heavy duty fan that I'm hoping will keep the whole build nice and cool. So what arrived today, which is why I'm able to do this right now, and I can just go ahead and turn this because I've got everything kind of scattered around the office. This is the power supply. So a Thermaltake Cool All, no, that's probably not what it is. Tough Power Series power supply. It's 850 watts, which is the main thing. And if you look here, I don't have no idea why 100% Japanese capacitors is a big deal. But I do know that you want gold. Gold is the highest quality connectors that you can have. It has a good warranty on it. And it's supposedly ultra quiet, which could be a big deal whenever I'm streaming. I don't want the fans to be crazy loud. Hopefully the mic can help, deviate some of the interference and the noise from that. As far as my graphics card, that's another big thing I'm sure you guys are interested in. This is a GeForce RTX. The brand is EVGA, which I'm told is an excellent brand, a really quality brand. And it's a 2080. So that's the new series of graphics cards. I, of course, didn't splurge for the 2080, is it Ti, I believe, the really expensive one. It's like $1,200, $1,100. This one will do everything we need in terms of the games that we're going to be playing on the channel. So I thought that extra bit was just a little too excessive, and I didn't quite want to go there. What else did we get? Let me move this stuff out of the way. I've got my memory here. Ballistics brand. 16 gigabyte. I was told 32 is excessive. 16 is what you need in terms of RAM. But hopefully this is not broken, because it arrived in like the cheapest packaging I've ever seen, and on a really, really hot day. So I was having nightmares about this thing being broken and the whole build not working. Hopefully that is not the case. i9 is the core that I've gotten. Came in a really cool packaging. Hopefully it's all safe inside of there. I have chosen not to unbox anything until I'm actually putting the build together, because I know some of this stuff is very sensitive to dust and static and things like that. So I'm trying to be pretty careful with it. But with the new CPU, I'm hoping that a lot of games will run very quickly and very smoothly. I've also got, this is the motherboard. Let's go ahead and actually think we can, there we go. Okay. So this is the motherboard here. It's an ROG Strix Z390E gaming motherboard. So once again, everything is Intel brand, or Intel, and this is the Asus brand. Once again, I'm told this is an excellent motherboard. It's got all of the ports that we need, and yeah, I don't know. Guys, I wish I was more intelligent on these types of things. All I can say is I'm told everything works well together, and I hope that's the case. Everything should be compatible, and the motherboard is kind of like the first step in making sure that's the case. I also have this thermal compound, which I was recommended to buy. That should help with the cooling process as well. We get over here, I'm into my storage now. It's a 1 terabyte SSD. It's M.2, and this is kind of like the newer SSD that's out there. It's more efficient, and this is, like I said, 1 terabyte. That's going to house some of the more demanding games that we have, and probably our operating system as well. And then I also just have, for kind of like, junk storage, this is just a 2 terabyte hard drive that I got for very cheap. Seagate, I guess, is the brand, or Barracuda. Just a hard drive. I may, in time, if I need to, may add more storage. And I actually have the actual graphics card here with the big fans on it. It's a pretty heavy, solid thing, and I don't want to take it out of the wrapping once again because of static being a main thing. It actually has a warning on there not to remove it unless you're grounded. So, and I'm certainly not grounded right now. Anything else that I'm missing? Okay, so I got a new monitor. That's a big deal, I guess. I got a LG Ultra Gear gaming monitor. It's a 144 hertz, so the refresh rate should be pretty great, and the picture quality should be amazing. It's probably the nicest monitor I've ever owned, aside from like hooking up one of my big screens to my computer and playing it that way. And I got a new keyboard. This is Corsair brand. It's a mechanical keyboard. It's backlit, of course, everything RGB. It's going to look like a rainbow in my room whenever I play games, and I'm okay with that. It's going to be cool. It's going to be a good time. And yeah, I mean, that's all the components that really matter to you guys. I've got a nice printer and fax machine for office type purposes. Probably help me out a lot whenever I go back to school. And I'm also running a hard line into here, so I'll have more stable internet connection, using one of those Netgear plug-in things. And yeah, so I'll have really stable internet and a really sweet office to stream from, hopefully a really solid computer from which to game. And yeah, so guys, like I said, this is the first time you ever get to see my face. Hopefully it does not disappoint. And hopefully, you know, I'm not as bad at vlogging as I think I am. Hopefully everything was clear enough for you guys to see. If you want one last good panoramic view of the office, we can do it just like this. Oh, there's my TV. Yeah, check that out. But yeah, so this is where I'll be. The general idea, if we can move some of this stuff out of the way real quick, is for me to be sitting in this very cool space with the green screen tucked around me. So it goes all the way around. And then we're kind of just in the office. There's actually two screens, but you get the general idea. And there we go. So I'm now sitting kind of at my battle station, and it feels pretty good. So guys, without any further ado, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this kind of like channel update slash intro into what I'm going to be doing. I guess my streaming and my computer build, my office build. It's been a lot of work and a long time coming, and it's almost done, and I'm super excited. Now all that's left to do is build the computer, and I'll probably make a much shorter video showing off the computer itself once it's done, because I'll be so proud of myself that I didn't break anything. But until then, thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you on all the different series. I just started a Darkest Dungeon run today. More Battle Brothers coming, more Total War Warhammer 2. Look for more Total Warhammer stuff once the computer gets built and we can actually do a solid campaign. That's what I'm really looking forward to doing. And if you have any questions about anything, just feel free to ask in the comments section. I'll be happy to answer them. And as always, guys, I will see you in the next one. Take care.